So hi everyone, welcome to Farm Fresh Marketers. This week we are doing the Zoom call about email, and I'm excited about quite a few things with email. And I know it's a very broad subject and very broad topic that I don't feel that I could completely go through all of it in 1 week's time. So this Zoom and this week's lessons are mostly an overview of how to kind of look at email, how to use it towards, um, you know, for your goal of your business, for your goal of your farm, and how to engage and interact with the subscribers that you have on your newsletter. In other recordings and weeks lessons, we're going to go more into kind of how to build an email list, how to convert email subscribers into customers, and how to kind of get sequences of emails put together. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is one of that a really brief overview of what I'll call a lead magnet. So if you think about your email subscribers and what it takes to build your email list, there should be something out there that is just irresistible for your audience to kind of get from you for free in exchange for their email address. So what a lot of businesses and farms do is just a coupon of X% off their first order when you join our newsletter. The mistake that we made when we first kind of started any farm marketing, we had hosted an Eclipse event on our property, or had planned to host an Eclipse event on our property. And in that, there was a lot of attention, a lot of buzz around people that lived in the path of totality, which we did. We had a 2-minute window where there was complete darkness. And so we decided pretty late on that we wanted to do an event, and we thought, 300 people would be a good number. Ended up being 500 people on our property. We sold 500 tickets, and through it, the marketing angles that I took, we had over 10,000 visitors to our website. I only took the leads. I only had, it was basically a Squarespace website. And on that, I just had the typical, would you like to subscribe to our newsletter thing that's on there. We got no leads beyond the customers that we had. So of the 10,000 people that visited our page over that period of time, we only had the 500 that we could get back in touch with. And then I also didn't have anything set up to where I could just tell them what's going on every month. We were more focused on growing our social media followings, which we did very, very well, than we were on email. And that was a huge mistake on our part, because when we did get to the point of, we wanted to sell grass-fed beef, we weren't prepared at all with, we kind of started out with our shoes untied a bit. We missed the opportunity that we had with all of that added traffic. And Tony, I'm curious, have you looked at the path of totality for you down in South Texas? I think the next eclipse is 2024, I believe.
I can only recall one eclipse that was back in the around 1998, where it really affected and where it was visible here in South Texas.
Yeah, so the next one in the U.S. will be coming, and I'll look it up for you, but it'll be coming through Mexico, up through Texas, I think all the way up through Washington, D.C. And in it, we had, what did we make? I think we did $40,000 in revenue from having
Wow.
a one-day event. And so that's something that where you can leverage something like that to start, building it to future things, or you know, just working together with neighbors and different things as well. But so that was one for us that could have been a lead magnet. It was something that we missed the opportunity on. For our grass-fed beef, what we did was giveaways. I'm just going to show you really quick a couple posts that we did. So here, can you see that, Tony?
No, all I'm seeing is your video there.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Okay.
Let me see if I can click on your, there it goes.
Okay, so here is kind of one tactic that we use to drive traffic to our lead magnet, and it was giveaways. So we used Facebook groups to do giveaways, and just in these 3 Facebook groups, we brought in over 3,000 leads. And that was through giving away a box of 10 pounds of grass-fed beef or lamb. And so lead generation, and like I said, I'll dive way more into detail on how to generate leads in a future lesson we're doing. But I just wanted to show you a few examples of like ways that you can start to think about lead generation and building your email list. But the first thing that you need is that foundation. You need the structure. You need to know what it is I'm going to start telling my audience, and have that put in place. So, and Tony, I just muted you there for a second, but I will unmute you if when I have questions. And just if you have a question, if you just want to raise your hand, then I can hop over to you. Sorry to be fumbling there. I can't get my image to come back up. Ah, here we go. Okay. Ah. Dang it. Okay, there we go. So I'm sharing my desktop. The other thing I wanted to show you really quick is what Omaha Steaks does. And so what they've done is a lot of giveaways as well. So they do giveaways on a different level. They've done their giveaways kind of through sweepstakes sites. So here's one. This is a blog where they've done sweepstakes. You can win $1,000 worth of free steaks. It actually tells you on this page how often people are entering, the start and end, and you know, you can win $1,000 worth of Omaha Steaks. Every kind of large company that's out there is going to have some sort of lead magnet. You know, with what we found with doing giveaways like this, a lot of the folks that were entering were just looking for a good deal or something really cheap. So once you've kind of attracted them and started to move forward with things, the next thing that you're going to want to look at, and I suggest that you do it before getting all these leads, because you can imagine if you have 300 or 3,000 people all coming in at one time, you could get pretty overwhelmed pretty quickly. Oops, darn it. Ah, sorry about that. I'm really fumbling around on this today. So let me just clear a couple things out here. Screen. I'm sorry about that. What am I doing wrong? That's one thing that I think is important to talk about is you things aren't going to work out perfectly. You're gonna have a learning curve. You're gonna have mistakes. You're gonna, struggle through some things. Um, but that's life sometimes. Like you just that's how one of the best ways to learn is to just kind of get out there and actually try things. And Zoom is something that's fairly new for me. So apologize for the technical difficulties I'm having. Um, so the thing that we need to look at now is, hey, what is it that I want to start telling my audience? And if we trace back through the past lessons that we've had here in Farm Fresh Marketers, the next thing that we really need to look at is who are we talking to and what kinds of things do they care about? What keeps them up at night? And as you start to really understand who your dream customer is, it makes it easier to start to share things with them. So our last week lesson was in telling your farm story, and that should be one of the first things that you tell people when they subscribe to your email. You're going to set their expectations of when they can expect emails from you, kind of what, like, really, if I send a weekly newsletter, it's going out on X days, and here's kind of an overview of what I'm going to be talking about. And you don't want to be overly salesy with it. You see that a lot as you go through your email that you get as you just subscribe to other businesses. A lot of them are just sending sales after sales after sales after sales, and it's easy to do that because it's like it works. Like you send an email and you get revenue. So but the thing that you're not doing when you do that is you're not inviting them in. You're not separating yourself. You're not creating something they call a unique selling position. You're not separating yourself from all of the other noise that's out there. And that's one thing that you can certainly do with email. When I was saying earlier, we focused on building our social media followings. What we found is when we had 500 followers, we were still getting the same engagement that we were getting when we had 10,000 followers. Facebook and Instagram and all of the social media outlets, they want you to pay money. If you're a business, they want you to pay money to get your stuff out there. Or email, it's a list that you own. It's free for you to send it out. You're not going to get everyone to open it. But the more engaging you are, the more coffee shop kind of talk that you have with them, telling them about what's going on in your farm, talking about, the good, the bad, and the ugly, really humanizes the email perspective. Tony had talked earlier to me about, the business environment and how email is used. In my past career in project controls, I certainly use email that way, to where it's just very brief, to the point. Here's what I need. Here's your report. Like, it's very black and white. What folks are looking for is they want something that's going to brighten their day. If you can get your email to be the very first thing that they do in the morning, like that can completely transform your farm or your business, because most people, they wake up, they'll check their email, they'll check their social media followings or social media, and go from there. So that's one way to kind of look at the whole aspect of email and how you can separate it. the biggest thing there is that it is a list that you own. It's your Rolodex. It's your basically key to unlocking potential within your business. Lots of different corporations that are out there have massive values because they have massive lists. One of the most successful email list campaigns that's ever been done has been McDonald's with their Monopoly game. Since they changed that to a platform where you enter your email to go and check and see if you win, they've, I don't know the numbers, but millions and millions of emails is what they've collected. And, you know, it's still as relevant today as it was when it was first created. As an opportunity, there's just fewer chances that you're going to get your email opened. For example, back in the late 90s, I think it was over 80% open rates. Now it's down around 20 to 30% open rates are really, really good. A lot of businesses are around 10. So having that perspective, I think, can really shift how you look at email and how you kind of tailor things going forward. What I would recommend is, as you identify your dream customer, you start to go and you start to look at exactly who my dream customer is, like what businesses or blogs or things are they attracted to, and go subscribe to their emails and start to see the patterns in the ways that these companies are talking to your dream customer, and you'll start to find kind of your own voice with it. The best framework that I have seen is to start out by, setting expectations, thanking them for the basically lead magnet they've taken, and then letting them know what's coming up. We send a weekly newsletter every Tuesday. We, over the next 7 days, we'll be sending a series of 3 emails to let you kind of learn about our farm, and then also to learn more about what it is that you love about, grass-fed beef or farm products or, raw milk or whatever it is. But if you treat it like a coffee shop environment, you show them that you care, and then you can start to add value through things that you see kind of working for those other businesses that they follow. A good example of that is just bloggers that are out there with creating recipes every single day. You can work with them to just include that recipe in your weekly emails, or different things to where it's just like engaging, or coupons for other businesses, or there's so many different avenues. Like I could do a week on just that side of things, and collaborations. That is an upcoming weekly lesson that we have, is working with different businesses who already have an established email list, and having them kind of learn about your farm, and also educating folks about local things that are going on, local events, local businesses, restaurants, different things that you support. Just like if you're going to tell a friend about a great movie that you just watched, and that's a big direction that business is going in. People want to be they want to be in a place where they feel that things are personalized, and email is one of the best ways to do that. Real quick, I'm going to unmute Tony. I know that he has to jump off, so I wanted to check and see if he had any questions, and answer the rest of our Q&A. But I can't stress enough the importance of starting now. Just begin with your story. Jump back to last week's lesson on storytelling and telling your farm story, and start with that, and just start to build on it and document things. Take pictures, keep a journal of different things that happen on your farm, and that, as you do that, that will become really easy for you to start sharing about. One thing that we do is just write out a list. What are the 50 topics that my audience, my dream customer, would like to hear about or learn about, or ways that I can add value on these 50 things. You write out that list of 50 things, and you can have one whole year's worth of emails kind of created ahead of time just on this list of 50 things. And so, yeah, there's definitely lots of ways to do it. A lot of folks, I feel like, are concerned that they're going to annoy people, I think is the word that I've heard the most. And with that, I feel that if you are, yes, sending a sales message 5 times a day, then, or 5 times a week, then yes, you're going to annoy people because that's the noise that they hear. If they're learning about, what's going on with calving and, the the kids playing with chickens, and like our daughter, when she was 3 years old, put a chicken egg that was covered in chicken poop in her mouth and didn't get sick. And I can dive way deep into why it is that she can have poop in her mouth and not get sick from it. And there's just so many things where you can educate folks. And that's, I think, what people want the most. And you can do the same thing with your social media. But we recommend starting with the email, starting with like that list of 50 things, and then just building off that, and then take segments from that and share that as your social media things throughout, and videos and other ways. So yeah, I'm gonna hop over here and check in on Tony. All right, Tony,
Doing good.
Unmuted you.
Good. I appreciate it. I'm just sitting there taking notes.
Awesome. I still can't figure out how to make my screen bigger. I need to watch a tutorial on Zoom. Sorry about the my screen being so small. So
I'd made myself a note here to try to figure out, is it better to approach Zoom on a laptop or on the phone?
I think for me, I'm on a laptop, but I think either one's works. Like, your video looks great. I'll show you. I have this thing. You can't see it.
Yeah.
But they call it a Diva Light, and basically I have it turned on so that I can wear a hat and folks can see me and stuff like that. But
Sure.
Yeah. So I know that I got some other questions on this that I wanted to answer as well, but I know that you got to hop off, so I wanted to see if you had any questions or comments for me to handle.
There probably will be some questions. I'm a little bit behind the curve. I think one of the things I made myself a note is I've got to go ahead and kind of manufacture and put together the farm story that you mentioned, because it helps in being able to get behind a tablet and take the time to write down your thoughts. So I've got quite a few bullet points that I need to incorporate in certainly on my Facebook page for the ranch.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you do that, one thing that personally I've found, the easiest medium for me is to write things out. I enjoy writing and I like writing. But I know that folks engage well with audio and folks engage well with video. So it's something I've gotten outside of my comfort zone to do. But for you want to find your best way of kind of telling stories and use that method. If it's writing, or if it's video, or if it's even audio, then you can kind of start to do things that way. And I can show you ways where in your email newsletter you can have folks get your audio messages or get your videos or different things that you use. But yeah, I enjoy writing things out and just having it kind of a black screen, and that's all I'm looking at is the white words that I'm typing out. Um, but yeah, I think that and identifying your dream customer will really help you kind of understand what message that you want to send out, and really it'll invite conversations with your audience as well.
I agree.
So let's see here. I'm gonna try and make mine bigger. Okay, so just chime in if you have any questions, Tony, but I'm gonna answer some more questions here. I've got the whiteboard. So one of the questions was, what's the first thing to send new leads? And I kind of went through that. You know, you want to set expectations. It's important also to let them know to add you to their address book, because a lot of emails can go to spam. And in your first series of emails, the more that you can remind them to do that or move you to the primary folder, because the email coming from a company will show up, at least in Gmail, in promotions, and stuff can get lost. You know, a lot of people get hundreds or thousands of emails a week or even a day. So it's easy to just get lost in things. And also setting those expectations. They know your email is going to come consistently every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Then they can look forward to that. And it's as you continue to hit those targets, they'll actually just trust you because you've been consistent. So next question is, what's the best way to immediately connect? And yes, that is treating it like a coffee shop, showing that you care about them and providing value, things that you can do to add value to their day. You know, if your dream customer is someone who is 70 to 75 years old, they've retired and they live on a golf course, it wouldn't be out of the realm for you to send an email newsletter about like some golf tips. You know, it seems strange coming from a farm, but you can find different things to incorporate these, like the history of golfing, or you know, here there's a pasture that was turned into a golf course that, like, you know, there's just different things, and the better you know your dream customer, the more value that you can provide to them. Same thing with talking about different books that you've read. Tony, by the way, thank you for the Primal Blueprint recommendation. Read that, and it's absolutely amazing. You know, that's something I feel like anyone who is selling direct to farming customers, like from the farm direct to customers, you should be recommending that book or giving that book with your larger orders, because it's just so valuable. And I can't believe I'd never heard of it before. Then how often do you ask for sales versus everything else? So one thing that you can do is start to look at, with the messages that you're getting from, or with the messages that your dream customer is getting from other companies, as you look through those, see how their sales message goes. If you tell a story, you can weave in different things, you know, about the sales. One thing that I love is crock pots. I love walking into a house when the crock pot's cooking, and you can just have that aroma. And the more detail that you give, the better it is. Like, you can individually smell, you know, the carrots and onions, and just it's starting to just caramelize almost in there. And you know that the roast beef that's in there is just going to fall apart, and it brings back all these memories of your childhood or something like that. And that could be, and it's like, and this is why I wanted to create the crock pot bundle for fall, in tailoring your message into a story, is the best way to have your sales message come through, to where it's inviting. It's just like you're telling a story to someone in a coffee shop. When you're sending an email that you know, 4 or 5 times a week that's like, we have a sale, we have a sale, we have a sale, we have a sale. You know, by now, it's like dating. It's like you're not gonna have a second date with that person when you only have one focus. Is there a fine line between annoying and not asking enough? So yeah, I think with that question, I've kind of answered it with my last response. But yes, there's certainly a fine line, and one thing you can do to avoid or to learn as you do that is to break up your audience. One thing that in those giveaway photos that I showed at the beginning, one thing that we did was we asked customers what they would prefer. Would you prefer ground beef, steaks, or a variety? You can easily segment your email list into people that want ground beef, people that want steaks, and people that want a variety. And then as you send your messages, you can tweak things throughout the messages. So you'd have a list of, let's just say 50 people that love ground beef, 50 that love steaks, and 50 that love variety. Every one of those three can have a different message as you start to find your voice and figure out exactly what it is that my audience wants to hear from me. Another way to do that is just to ask them. You know, after they've been a subscriber for a while, you can just say, hey, I'd love some feedback on the messaging that you're getting from us. Is there different content you'd like me to share? Same thing through social media, Instagram stories and Facebook. The stories that they have there are great ways to do that, and just do a quick 15-second video asking for feedback. So yeah, I think that's all the questions that I had gotten. Like I said, we're going to dive way more into email in upcoming lessons. In all of the lessons that we teach in Farm Fresh Marketers, you'll see that they'll interweave into creating that solid foundation. So like I was showing at the beginning, there are ways where you can attract lots and lots of leads. But the first thing that you want to do is just establish that foundation so that folks can, you can share your message. One thing that is very, very easy to do is to assume that they're going to remember you. And more than likely, they're not. And that's what we saw with the eclipse. Even those people that came to our event had an experience of a lifetime. When we wrote them 6 or 8 months later, not a lot of them were very engaged with us because they hadn't completely forgotten, but they hadn't been with us on our journey. Had I been sending an email every single week about, you know, different things, you know, they would have known different things with that were going on at our farm. You know, they could have talked to us more about losing our puppy that was less than a year old, and different things that, you know, just we could share and teach them about. And that's, I think, what makes email so different. You can do that within social media, but your engagement is even lower there, even especially the more that you grow, the fewer and fewer people are going to see things unless you pay for them. And that really changed a lot with the election. I know Facebook got a lot of heat for, I'm not sure, I don't follow politics, but there was something going on with Russia, and they just, you know, they had to change things. They had to make it harder for folks to share things. And that really impacted businesses a lot because they rely so much on Facebook. It is important, I do believe, to have a presence on social media. They are not as important as your email list and having your audience engaged through that, because it is a traffic source that you own. There's no algorithm determining when people will see things. They determine that by going through their inbox, and you know, you're going to arrive in their inbox. You may go to their spam folder, and that's why at the beginning you want to set up those expectations of, you know, add me to your address book, and you know, get them, make sure that they want to, you're not going to go to their spam folder, basically. But yeah, that's what I got for today. Again, thank you guys so much for joining. I'm going to stop the recording and chat a little bit. If Tony's still on, chat with him. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the day. Feel free to reach out if you have questions. If you are watching this and you're not yet a part of Farm Fresh Marketers, send me a message or check farmfreshmarketers.com. We have different sale or specials that are going on. And right now, our biggest one is that you can have a lifetime membership, and also at a very, very affordable price. And then you can also add 3 guest members to your lifetime membership for free. So yeah, I'd love to chat more with you guys, learn more about your farm. And yeah, thanks for joining. Okay. I think I'm still recording. Dang it.